welcome back to episode 3 of Real Chalk. Today we might be talking a bit about our goals for the year, some stuff about the Open, that kind of stuff. I am Sam.
I'm Jamie.
And we're joined by our head of media, Mr. Connor.
That's me. Sorry, I was zoned out there for a second when you called me and I was like, oh, I'm not ready for this. How are we?
I have to speak. Oh.
Yeah. I was like, oh God, fade up. Hello.
All right, so let's kick it off. Let's get into it. Let's set the timer. Kick off our 20-minute AMRAP.
All right, let's go. 10 seconds.
So today we're going to look at maybe starting at the Open. I know we've touched on maybe kind of how it's stressful.
Boom.
Sorry, you have to let that timer go by. Yeah, so talking about the Open, I know we've said a little bit how it's stressful, but when we're saying it's stressful, I think we're more touching on, for myself and Sam, when you're competing to get to a sanction or to get to regional or to win fittest in Ireland, it's stressful because it's not like a normal competition setting when you can see the field around you, you know who you're competing against, you're just doing it that once off. Like in the Open, when they release a workout, you might hit it, you might think you've smashed it, and then you don't really know what anyone else gets. There's rumors that people kind of dived on a workout or did it unbelievable on it. So then you might repeat it the next day. There's so much going around and there's so much on the line, but there's a lot of waiting time in between workouts, which does make it really tough. So Sam, for you, like, how do you attack the Open? How do you go at it?
Yeah, so I always kind of know that depending on the workout, I definitely want to do it twice. So I'll always give myself the opportunity to do it twice. So I'll do it on a Friday morning. Usually release it like midnight Thursday. So if I do it on Friday morning and I think I have to repeat, that gives me the most recovery time before doing it on a Monday or something. But I think we were talking about this earlier, where like in a competition, we were saying like if you're in the middle of a competition and you have to do this workout, it's one and done, everything's on the line, there's people around you. There isn't a Monday repeat for that workout in person. So like we were kind of discussing, it's hard to get into the zone sometimes on a Friday knowing, oh, I can just do it again on a Monday. Or something like that, like it's in the back of your mind. Oh, don't worry, I'll just do it again one day.
Yeah,
it's not the way to go, I think.
No, and that's the same for me. Like everyone knows that any Open workout is daunting. They're always tough. They're a killer. You lay it all out. It only comes around once a year, so you really do go for it. But I try to have in my mind, and anyone who's doing the Open with me as well, that we all have to do it twice. I make all the coaches in the gym do it twice. Because I'm not going through it on my own the second time. I want to see them hurt as well. But also normally I'll do it the first time. I like to do it in the morning around 11 o'clock. So I get a good sleep, get some food in, get to watch the announcement again in the morning when I'm more awake and see what's going on. And then every time after, I'm always like, I did unbelievable. I'm not doing it again. And then a couple hours pass and then you start hearing, oh, Sam got this, Army got this, PD, Mickey. You start hearing some scores come in and you're like, oh no, I have to do this again.
3 times.
Yeah, exactly. So then I normally try to do it I'll do it on the Friday morning. Then I try to get it done on the Sunday just because I'm like, if I have to do it a third time, which I think last year I had to do every single workout 3 times.
Oh, so, that's interesting. You do it on a Sunday.
Yeah.
I did the one time, I've only ever done one on a Sunday, which was the last Open workout last year because I just wanted to fucking get it done with.
Yeah.
I was like, I am sick of the Open. I want Monday back to normal, so I'm doing it on a Sunday.
Yeah, well, as well, like everyone has different movements that they're better at or worse at. For me, I'm always better at the later weeks. So yeah. I try to get rid of the first few weeks. I normally do I normally mess it up for myself. I do well in the first one and then I'm like, okay, great, I'm flying it. Second one I like to do really, really bad just so that I'll have to chase everyone else for the rest of the weeks. And then I count on round 4 and 5 for a heavy barbell, which hopefully I'll pull it together around the end.
So you don't like week 2?
No, week 2 is not my friend. Hopefully they can just skip that. Now
there's 3 weeks.
Yeah, but that means I'm missing week 4 and 5. They're my good weeks, so I'm in trouble.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. 100%. And what about training for you? Like when you're coming up to the Open, do you train in between the workouts or do you just focus on the Open, or how does it look for you?
Yeah, so I think I kind of keep it semi-similar. I will try and probably reduce the intensity and the volume a little bit. So coming up to the Open, maybe Monday, well, depending if I do it on, so say I've done the workout again on Monday.
Yeah.
I might do a second session that day, maybe just more kind of longer cardio, breathe, flush out the body, so I'm not adding too much like the fatigue under my body. Tuesday and Wednesday would be pretty normal days, I think, just training wise. Thursday completely off, maybe stretch and just get slightly out of breath on a bike or something. Friday morning full attack, give everything to the workout, like just recover as best I can. And I would do something Friday evening just so I'm not getting extra stiff and sore from the workout in the morning. So I might do like, again, maybe a big cardio thing or some just moving around, some skill stuff. And then Saturday, I'd say Saturday I train definitely for the first few weeks of the Open. Now there's 3 weeks, I probably will just train through normally, but maybe weeks 4 and 5, I'd start taking the full weekend off to recover. Because by the end of the 5 weeks, you're pretty shattered.
Yeah, it's a really heavy 5 weeks. I attack it similarly. Well, I aim to attack it similarly. So at the start, I'm always like, you're not training for the Open, you're training for the Sanctional at the end of it, or the regional, or the games, or whatever your big goal is, whether you're going to get there or not, you have that goal. So I'm kind of like, you have to keep strong throughout those few weeks. You're not going to just do Open stuff.
Yeah.
So in week 1, when I'm feeling really fresh, and obviously week 1 I do well, so I keep all my training up, but then once week 2 goes to shit and I do terrible, then usually I'll be like, muscle ups hasn't come up yet, so I spend the whole week doing muscle ups, getting ready for my big performance on week 3, 4 and 5. That's normally how I hit it. So yeah, that's usually how I focus my training around the Open. Like,
yeah, tick off the boxes. Okay, say week 1 we've done rowing, I'll probably do maybe a little less rowing throughout the next and kind of hone the skills for what could still come up.
Yeah, you can cancel things out as they come.
Yeah. And
what about for you for training partners, or how do you do you like to do the Open on your own, or do you get someone to go against you, or do you have pacers? How would you usually break it down?
in the past, I've always done on my own. But then, depending on how I do, I would get the video of the Open, and I'd kind of measure out where, okay, I can make a lot of time on between these 2 movements. I'm taking too long a rest, or I'd break it up differently, or I'd really look back at the video and almost for a match, video analysis. You know, I'd really go in transition times and movement speed, and just look and see if I slow down. Like if my first round was a lot faster than my last round, and see what kind of round speeds I should be aiming for, and kind of set up a different strategy if it's a big, long kind of paced workout like that. Haven't actually done it against any Open workouts, but this could be interesting this year if we're going to try and do that head to head.
We've got a pretty cool setup this year. The fact that we're going to be going against each other. I think we've also said, because I've had a few people ask me, like, what's it like having Sam in the gym? Obviously, we've both got the same goals. We're competing against each other, but I think as well, we've decided that we're training together every single day. So we've put that, even though we're super competitive against each other, we've put the rivalry aside, and we're going to help each other, push each other, because we're going to become better athletes off the back of that. Yeah. And then it's best man wins. Now, it's going to be full warfare when Open comes around, but still, I'm happy to go head to head. And if you beat me or I beat you on the first day, we know we're going to be doing it again. So it's almost better knowing each other's scores, because then we know what we need to push to for our next one. Yeah,
and then we have a better idea of the kind of level that we need to push for and stuff.
Yeah, 100%. And for me as well, the whole the stress for the Open comes from, I think, not knowing other people's scores. Like if I just knew everyone's score on the first day and then I just get to do my very best attempt, it would be way better than hearing that someone repeated it at 10 o'clock at night and you're like, oh no, I need to get in the car and run up to the gym to do it again. And you're thinking about it all evening. Like, you think you had a great performance, and then there's all these rumors how different people score.
Honestly, you don't feel safe until the clock strikes Tuesday.
Yeah.
Like, nothing feels safe for sand until...
And the new thing with people not validating scores until the Wednesday, that's the
cheeky.
Worst thing.
Yeah, that is cheeky.
It's the worst thing in the world, because you think you've done well, and then suddenly some score comes in out of nowhere.
Yeah, and then it's like Tuesday afternoon, and who is this person, sort of thing. Yeah.
So I'll do some of the workouts on my own, or else. So last year, Filippo would always test the workout. Filippo, one of the coaches in C2F, he tests the workout first. He likes to get here. Well, he doesn't really stop training, so he'll have just finished.
So he's already here, and he just does it.
Yeah, he'll finish his night shift of training, and then he'll be starting again in the morning. So he'll do the workout and break it down. And he loves numbers, so he always kind of breaks down all the timing, lets me know exactly what I should be doing. Then I try to do it. I stick to his timing for the first 30 seconds. Then I go wild, and it normally doesn't really work out for the first attempt. So then I listen to him for the second attempt once he breaks it down for me. Yeah, or the third, exactly.
I remember, was he saying one where he'd set up a clock for you, and it's like, you were going to... this clock is going to beep every 52 seconds, and you have to do a round every 52 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. That was the long 20-minute workout last year. What was that again?
So it was 20.2, second week.
Yes,
so favorite 20-minute AMRAP of exact reps are escaping me, but thrusters with dumbbells, toes to bar and double unders.
Yes, and I did that workout 4 times. So that was not fun. 4 times of an open workout, all being 20-minute AMRAPs.
So that's
not ideal.
That's an hour and 20 of that workout.
Yes, exactly. But because So I'd do really well for the first 8 minutes and then just blow up every time. And I couldn't understand why I was dying. And it was because I was never really timing the rounds. And then Filippo was telling me, yeah, it was something like go every, say, 44 seconds. But I'd finish a round in 30 seconds. And then I'd have those 14 seconds. I was like, what are you meant to do in those 14 seconds? I can't just stand here. But eventually on my fourth
recover?
Yeah,
That's
recover
what comes to
would be
mind, I
one thing.
think.
So, because I normally like just go full attack, go wild at it. I don't really like having a strategy. I like just going for it. But for some reason, I just kept blowing up in this workout. So Filippo had me waiting there. The reason I had to do it 4 times though was because my video switched off, which happens to me every single year. You'd think I'd learn.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's not ideal. So it's happened since I started the Open like 6 years ago. I always have my video camera there, and I know, like, now I know to put my phone on airplane mode, but even could be halfway through the workout and someone rings you, your phone rings, and you're like, no. And the camera turns off.
Feeling on earth. Oh my God.
And so the way we attack the Open in my family as well is it's like we all go to war. Everyone knows that it's like super stressful. My dad, my brothers, they all ask me like what the workout is. They break it down. They have all their own ideas of how I should attack it. So my dad always comes in and he's like, you need 2 cameras. And he actually comes to the gym because my dad and my brothers watch me do it when I do it on my own. So my dad's always like, even last year, he was like, you need 2 cameras. And I was just so in the moment, I'm like, I don't need 2 cameras. I've got enough space. Of course, I did have enough space. I had airplane mode. Everything was going well. And then the phone, of course, fell off the box. So that's why I had to do it the 4th time. So that's not ideal.
That's the worst.
Has that ever happened to you?
No.
No?
I'll help you out this year, Jamie. This won't happen again.
Oh yeah,
I'll
exactly.
be here.
This time we're going to have a full professional setup, which would be pretty cool. I think it would be pretty epic if myself and Sam maybe did a live Open or something like that.
Something streamed or even just something like that.
Yeah. We could do something like that. Stream one live to Instagram and let people watch on the C2F page. Yeah, on the head-on page as well. That'd be pretty sick.
Definitely.
If this was last year, I'll be honest, we would never have done that because it'd be like secret super scores.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But now that the Open doesn't mean as much, but it's going to be.
It's just a strange year.
Stepping stone this year, and then the scores reset for the second bit. So it's like, okay, what's to lose?
Perfect time to try it.
Yeah,
absolutely,
exactly. So one of my favorite training partners, I have to give a shout out to Ian Goulding. Definitely one of my favorite training partners. I know Kev Claxon refers to him as the mutant. So Ian, just because he's like mentally hardcore in all of the workouts, and he's definitely only doing CrossFit maybe say 3 or 4 years, he's ranked up the most attempts at open workouts. I'd say every single time he would have done an open workout, I'd say 4 times. And when I was like really pushing to get to, I think it was regionals, so Ian did his first year with me when I got to regionals, so he was only starting out, and like, you know, when you're redoing a workout, sometimes you might blow up in a workout or sometimes you might do really well. But I remember there was one time where I really needed to do well in a workout, and fair play to him because he just blew up in this one. He ended up doing really well in this next attempt, but even though he blew up, he did the whole workout with me just to keep pushing me throughout the workout so that I could get a good score, even though he knew that like that attempt for him wasn't a great one. So that's like how good a training partner he was and is. But and he has now, so shout out to him, he has his gym called Yellow Belly in Wexford. But one story that comes to mind is we were all doing, I don't remember which open workout it was, but he was going at it and he couldn't get his head around it. He had stopped, so it was his 3rd time doing it in one day. Okay, so 3rd time doing an open workout in one day.
Oh man.
He had done the full one in the morning, then he had done half it in lunchtime, then again then he did the full one again, and then he was going for his last attempt. And we were all like shouting at him, bringing the energy. And he was like, I'm doing it on my own. So he comes into the gym and he was like, I want to be in my own thoughts here. So lights off, music off, 20-minute AMRAP, just in the dark gym in his own thoughts. And he actually got an epic score. But when you have someone that wild behind you, you're going to do well in an open workout when you've got that beside you.
The thoughts of repeating a workout 3 days apart, like 2 times, is hard to wrap my head around. 4 times or 3 times.
I think he did 450 wall balls that day. I'm not gonna lie to you, like. So yeah, it was pretty epic. God. But do you have any best or worst open experiences?
Definitely have a worst one, which was I remember when they just announced national champion stuff, and I was like, okay, let's go. I'm definitely in with a shot. So I was like, let's go. And then the first workout was wall balls and rowing, and it just smashed me. And I did that. That was one I did 3 times, but not in the same day. That would be ridiculous. I actually have a story about Ian. I remember one time before I was even coaching here, or like I came over to train like fairly regularly, and he was doing qualifier for like Berlin or somewhere, and he was like deep in the pain cave in this workout. I was like, go on, Ian. Like I was cheering him on.
Yeah.
And then I look over and like, oh, this only makes sense if you're watching the video version, but his phone was like this, okay? Like,
so it was leaning on
so
side
leaning
against
on
the bottle or something.
and he must have dropped a weight or something. And like, I think from early in the workout, it was like this. He was just filming the box. It was complete blank. I was like, yes, Ian, let's go. And like, I didn't want to go fiddling with his camera in case like there was it wasn't his or it was something else. And he just finishes like, oh no, like he was filming the box, and I just remember like, I'll have to do that later. And I went,
yeah, well, if I'm stubborn with my
God.
one camera, he is 10 times worse. And exactly like that, I try to learn from my experiences. And I think at this stage, I should have my camera work down. But I'd be like, Ian, because I was then in a clear mind, I'll have done my work. And I'd be like, here, I'll video it myself with this phone. He'd be like, no. And the amount of times that he's the camera turn off master. Like, so, yeah, but...
Anyway, back to the open thing. The walls around just messed me up. I did it 3 times, and I actually did worse each time I did it.
Yeah.
Until the last time I did it, I got a quad cramp and actually couldn't do a wall ball. That's just how bad it got. But I did it again recently, and safe to say I smashed my score. So that's...
Yeah, you killed it. That was a really big training moment for you as well, was it?
Yeah, because it's like 2 years ago, and kind of been working for it for the last 2 years. So it's good to know that I'm definitely heading the right direction.
When you have to do a workout in training, even though it's just training, but if it's a workout that is like a big moment that made you fail, I think that's huge. Like, did you feel nervous at all before you had to repeat that last week?
Oh yeah, I had to like go for a piss maybe like 5 times before the workout, just be like, okay, I have to pee again.
Yeah.
You know, like nervous pee. But yeah, it was good. Once the clock goes like our clock goes to 0, you're just into it. There's no thinking about anything else. Just like, I need to pull this pace and I need to breathe here, and you know, it's focus. It's not.
It's more just the pre-game nerves because
Yeah.
you've been training so hard for 2 years. You're kind of in your head. If I don't beat that score, have I gotten any better, or
and it's just
has it been
nervous
a waste?
about,
And those
obviously,
type of
you
things
just
in your
know
head.
without a doubt this is going to hurt. There's no question. It's like, if I want to do well, I have to hurt.
Yeah.
And just nervous about the pain of it, more than anything, I think.
Yeah, no, 100%. And then for me, so I went team this year. We were chatting before kind of how I got into team, and so I had started the Open last year 100% focused on trying to come first in Ireland. That was my goal. And again, first week went well. I joined first with PD Savage in week 1. We got the exact same score. We actually got the exact same score in 2 weeks of the Open.
That's crazy.
Which was bizarre.
Down to the second is very bizarre.
Down to the second. He messaged me being like, what's going on? I'm like, someone's telling me your scores. No, we somehow got the exact same score. But anyway, so I was had my eyes set on going individual, and 2 weeks into the Open, John Singleton called me, who I know quite well from working with him in a weightlifting 101 camp in Iceland, and I've seen him a few times at the French Throwdown. So I know him pretty well. And I had talked to him a couple of weeks previously about joining the program and doing a bit of coaching under them, but I hadn't actually followed his program yet because we had just stepped into the Open.
Yeah.
And basically, second weekend, he gave me a call and he asked me, did I want to be on a team, which I had never even thought about. So it was a bit kind of wild. And for me, because it was the second week, which is obviously my bad week, so I was behind.
In the dumps.
Yeah, big time. So I was behind. I must have been coming third or so in the Open at that stage. So for me then, even though the team was a really big opportunity, in my head I was like, is this a bit of a cop-out? Because I don't want to just go team just because I'm not winning the individual.
Yeah.
But then when I weighed it up, so what he said to me is, he was like, we've got an expert team here. He's like, I'm giving you an opportunity, but if you say no, he's like, I need an answer in 24 hours. And if you say no, there's someone to take your spot immediately.
Wow.
He's like, we've got the fittest girl in Sweden, fittest girl in Norway, fittest guy in Germany, and giving you the opportunity to be on the team. And then the big selling point for me, what he said is, he was like, it's not a question whether we're going to qualify for the games or not. It's how high we're going to place at the games. So when he said that, like saying that I'm going to compete with that caliber of athlete, and obviously we have to do all the work and we have to qualify, but we've got an opportunity to go to the games, and also that there's never been a European team to podium at the games. That was a huge thing for me. So that's why I went team last year. Now I do still want to do a bit of individual because I love individual and I love the way it's all you. But with the new Open structure, it's a little annoying that there is no super teams, because I don't know how next year is going to work. Because if there's no super teams, there'll be no super teams at the games, which then kind of changes my goals. And I look back at individual. So that's kind of where I'm at with the whole team situation.
But with the team, hopefully there will still be big competitions where you can make a lot of prize money, like Dubai or Wadapalooza.
Yeah.
There's opportunities there as well.
Yeah, 100%. And I also thought it would be a little less nerve-wracking being on a team, because you can kind of let some of the guys who are better at certain things take over. But really, when we were in Norway and it was the final, it was the most nerve-wracking thing in the world, because you never want to be the worst one on the team. So you're coming up to a workout and you're like, and they're saying we're going to start with the first 40 chest to bars unbroken. And I'm kind of like, if I drop off the bar, I'm the one letting the team down. And it didn't help that I smashed my elbow in the warm-up area. Couldn't put 5 chest to bars together.
What?
Yeah, and then we go out onto the floor. Myself and Josh kick off. We were meant to break it down into 20. We did 25 reps to only get 5 reps counted. We got 20 no reps in our first 5 reps. We were a full round behind, and we were chasing the athlete program. So yeah, somehow we pulled it together and we managed to take the win, and we qualified for the games, which never went ahead, but it was still an epic experience qualifying for the games. But yeah, not a great experience on the competition floor.
Man, I remember there was a workout in London there about a year ago, and it started with 100 wall balls. And like, okay, I am semi-friendly with wall balls, but I got like 20. So my judge, like, I never want to scream at my judge or anything, but like, he only spoke French, and we were in an English-speaking country, so I was like, okay, at least he'll probably count in English. So I had to do 126 wall balls to get my first 100 wall balls. No. So I was back from the very start. And then it was straight into like 70 toes to bar, I think. So it was like a big chipper. And he counts the first 5 in English. So I'm like, yes, okay, here we go. I'm back on track. I know where I'm going to be. And then after 6 onwards to 70, it was all in French.
No way.
So I had no idea where it was. I just got 26 no rep wall balls. Everyone else is ahead of me now. I'm like, oh, this is a disaster. But like, you just, in those moments, you just have to be like, okay, literally, I'm going to keep going because that's all I can do, you know.
There's nothing worse than no reps in a workout, because you just feel like you're wasting energy, and then usually if it's pull-ups, you might drop off the bar to reset yourself. It's definitely a killer. It's one of the worst moments in a competition when you're hitting no reps, or if you don't even know why you're hitting no reps.
Yeah, that's what it was, because he wasn't speaking English. So I was like,
well, that definitely doesn't help.
All right, so I'll just keep trying what I'm doing.
Oh, lads, come on, no more no reps. You're killing yourselves with these. Like,
it is the worst. It is the worst thing.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make sure I'm judging Sam this year in the Open, so he's gonna get a lot of no reps. Let me tell you that.
Just do it in French.
Yeah,
he won't stand a chance.
Jamie's famous in France. We should say.
I am famous in France.
He's actually a French celebrity.
Yeah, here I'm not much, but in France, I'm telling you, big dog in France.
I think we'll break that down a different day, maybe. Come here. I have a couple questions. Well, just one question that came through in the Instagram comments. So if you're watching this at the minute, you can drop a comment down below, and we will try and answer it. A couple of them each week, maybe, or at least one a week, anyways, at the end of each episode. So one of the questions that came in from the last episode was, what do you remember what your first like milestone in CrossFit was? Like, was it, I want to learn how to do a chest to bar, or I want to snatch 100 kg, or like, what was your kind of thing that when you hit it, you were like, okay, like this is CrossFit, or I can do CrossFit?
I think the 100 kilo snatch is a big one. That's kind of a big stepping stone on the way to just getting good at CrossFit and backing yourself. If you can, I think mentally getting those 3 digits on the bar, the 2 big blue plates, it's like, okay, now I'm getting there. As
a movement, definitely the 100 kilo snatch. But for me as a competitor, I wanted to do my first competition abroad. I thought if you could go abroad and do a competition. So I did the Athlete Games as my first one, and 100 people qualified, and I qualified 98th for that. But before that, I must have failed about 10 sets of qualifiers to get there. I just kept doing qualifiers because I thought if you can leave Ireland and do a competition anywhere in Europe, that is crazy. So for me, my first comp in the Athlete Games was pretty epic.
Yeah, it's very good.
Okay. And then one other question that came in, which I think is a fun one. Off the top of your head, if you had to 1v1 another CrossFit athlete, who would it be, and what would the workout be?
That's a very cool
question. Head to head. Like, do you remember, was it Matt and Froning did the... What did they do? Yeah, they did one against each other.
I actually did a semi kind of open announcement type thing for the Filthy 150 a few years ago against Zach George. I got flown to London in WIT or WIT, and it was really cool, and we got flown out there, and again, it was wall balls. At the time,
they know how to get you.
Yeah, it was just after regional, so I wasn't actually training as much, like going in, and I got is this the second time I mentioned getting a quad cramp on the podcast? I got a quad cramp halfway through, we're not strangely not doing the wall balls, but I think it was from doing the wall balls. So it was like a load of gymnastics and then like a hefty amount of wall balls. And the rig was really high. It was like one of those ones I was like, I had to use a step kind of thing to get onto. And as I was jumping off, I think it was like toe sport, like I landed fairly hard, and I could just feel like my quad just go completely numb, and then my leg locked out, and I went, okay, this is great. I can't even pick up the wall ball right now. So I'd love to do that again.
Yeah.
And obviously Zach George is gotten super serious as an athlete since then. He won the national champion for England or Britain.
Yeah.
And is like a games caliber, so I'd love to go do that again.
I think as well, it would be great for you and me to go head to head on a heavy barbell workout. That would be pretty cool to see, because you're very good at lifting, and I fancy myself on some of the heavier lifts as well. I think that would be epic, especially when it comes to the final bar, because that's normally how the Open is set up, and you're kind of going back and forth, hitting those last few reps.
I remember
doing that.
Just before I went Open a few years ago, we did one head to head. And you were like, let's do this workout.
It was a weightlifting 101 crazy workout, one of these heavy barbells that goes on for.
Oh, which one are you thinking? I'm thinking of the Open workout that you predicted. You're like, it was like 3 weeks before the Open. He's like, let's do this heavy lifting Open workout from a few years ago. And then it ended up being the second workout of the Open.
Oh, nice.
Which you did.
Telling
smashed,
you, I study my workouts. The second one, must have been very lucky that year. So
143 kilo cleans. And we were like back and forth. That was really cool, yeah.
Okay, yeah, they're solid answers. All right, that's all I've got for you this week, boys.
All right, cheers. Thanks for listening.